you ask me to summarize in a single paragraph everything we have learned in the past half century, that paragraph would be this. We are persuaded by what has happened that every child born has at the instant of birth a greater potential intelligence than Leonardo da Vinci ever used. I use Leonardo because he's my favorite genius. I think there are we people and then a big space and the geniuses, another big space and Leonardo all by himself. And yet we are persuaded that every child born has a greater potential than he ever used. The process of education begins at 6 years of age, but the process of learning begins at birth. You can teach a baby absolutely anything that you can present to him in an honest and factual and joyous way. If you want the very best quotes about children and the genius which is inherent in children, you look for quotes from geniuses. Let's take Buckminster Fuller, for example. Bucky says that all children are born geniuses, and we spend the first 6 years of their lives de-geniusing them. On behalf of the staff, I'd like to welcome you all to the Institutes for the Achievement of Human Potential. You are as welcome here as the flowers in May. You have been preceded by 40,000 parents. Here at the Institutes, we have spent a half century of elapsed time studying the role of intelligence, studying what is intelligence, where did it come from, and what happens. Is it genetic or is it environmental? And we have studied this in terms of people from the beginning of man 1 million years ago in Australopithecus until now. We're the greatest anthropologists in the world. We have studied it most especially in tiny children from the day of birth on. We have lived in the Kalahari Desert with bush children, watched them born and watched them develop. We have lived in the Xingu territory of Brazil with what are certainly the most primitive people in the world and watched those babies born and develop. And we have watched it in the Arctic where the temperature is 55 below zero and watched children be born and how they develop and what are the influences that make for high intelligence and not. Everybody likes to think they're very good at doing things. I know how to do this. And certainly that's important. But may I suggest that you spend a special amount of attention listening to the why. Because if you learn only how, as you forget, your knowledge will get smaller. If you understand why you're doing what you're doing with your children, then your knowledge will grow.
Present, use it. It's beautiful tail to find a mate.
Doesn't it have a beautiful tail? What else would we call those feathers?
Plumes.
Plumes.
The songbird in the squirrel typified the active nature of vertebrates.
There they are, 2 little active vertebrates. Songbird and the squirrel.
African green mama killed its prey with poison. It lived below the Sahara.
The what?
The Sahara.
Right, there it is. Look at that green mamba.
If you ask the average grown-up what 3-year-old children are like, the chances are very good that they'll say, well, they're fun-loving little things who would rather play patty cake than anything else. That's nonsense. Kids would rather learn than anything else. But we give them a choice to prove our point. We give them a choice between playing patty cake or solitary confinement in the playpen. And the kids pick patty cake. And we say, see, they love patty cake. It often occurs to me when some American diplomats were prisoners in a foreign country, they were handcuffed and blindfolded, handcuffed to a chair so they couldn't move. I'm sure if you had said to them, would you rather play patty cake, they would all have said, yes, I'd rather play patty cake, take off the handcuffs and take away the blindfold. But if we use that to prove that diplomats love nothing better than playing patty cake, we could see how silly that is. If you give a child his choice between patty cake and learning Greek, with 100% reliability, he'll pick learning Greek. Why? What children want more than anything else is adult attention, full-time adult attention. And they would give anything to get that full-time adult attention. When they get this choice, it's first choice, mommy. Second choice, daddy. Third choice, anybody who will pay attention to them, because in paying attention to them, they learn.
What the program did for our children was it made them, they seem to look at things more deeply. You know, they always take things one step further when they're asking questions about things. They're very talented, very intellectual, but they're very unassuming. You know, to meet them, they're normal kids. They sort of view their life as a learning laboratory. A daisy, cactus, bird of paradise, orchids, transverse daisy. It's wet. It does have drops on it, a little bit of dew. That's right. Transvaal daisy.
Wet on it.
That's not wet. That's right. That's right. That's right. And foxglove. Yeah. I've been able to have a very close relationship with them as a teacher, and sometimes we reverse roles. Sometimes they become the teacher, and we have fun with that. We go back and forth with that. Along with this program allowing me to really know my children and have fun learning with them, I've learned a lot about myself as far as my ability to be a sincere teacher for my own children, which I think is the key as to why it works. Yes, Japanese, hon. Gomi baku, beto, doke, hashi, denwa. Yes.